So these are the facilitator tips for the practical application section of the self-care module. So one of the reasons that we want to ask people to identify what self-care practices they're already using is that we want to invite them to be proud of themselves for the work they're already putting in. We want them to see that they're already starting to do some of these things, and it's not as hard as it may seem to make those changes because they're already working on it. Maybe they just haven't identified it that way. We're more likely to continue to make improvements when we can have appreciation for ourselves where we are right now. So instead of thinking that we're starting from zero, this activity helps us go, well, we're not starting from zero. We already do some of these things. We're just going to start to add to them. Speaking of adding to them, for the next one, when we're having them identify self-care practices that they would like to add in each area, please, as the facilitator, feel free to add to the self-care examples that I gave in the supporting psychological knowledge section and invite the participants to name their own practices out loud to inspire others. The ones that I gave are just kind of starting, just some general things. But it's definitely not an exhaustive list. So please be creative and offer your own examples as well and ask them to do that as well. And then if time permits, you can have participants identify how they could pair one of the self-care practices that they would like to implement with a practice they have already established in the routine, just to kind of help them get started in an easy way. When it comes to talking about how to overcome guilt and lack of time mentality to prioritize self-care, we want to invite participants to discuss whether or not they have difficulty allowing themselves to rest and believing they need to be doing tasks and activities at all times, which is true for a lot of people. We call that the productivity mindset. And so for people that do struggle with that, we want them to start to think about what impact that has had on their life and their health so that they can have motivation to start to shift that. It's also very important to emphasize that the lack of self-care is not a moral issue or a personal failure. It's not from just being lazy or not caring or all that stuff. There's so much more that goes into it than that. It's often due to not being properly educated on how to care for ourselves. Society really does not teach us how to do that, unfortunately. And also having many factors working against us. So it can be helpful to have participants discuss examples of how the systems that they're a part of and the responsibilities that they have that must take care of for survival make self-care, quite difficult. So it could be like their work system that they're a part of, or the responsibilities such as like taking care of their family, things of that nature, their kids, that make engaging in self-care difficult. Doesn't mean it's impossible, and we want to show them that they can improve things and start to improve their health and take their power back. But it is difficult, and we don't need to shame ourselves for the ways in which we don't do it as much as we want to. It's also really important to emphasize the struggle that parents, especially mothers, face in being able to take care of themselves when they also have to care for children, and encourage them to be proud of themselves and give themselves permission to focus on their self-care without feeling selfish when they're able to. And of course, to invite, when they can, do those things with their kids and their family so that it becomes a family activity and gives them more time to engage in it. Like if they want to do yoga or something like that, you can do yoga with your kids too, and it gives you time to do it and also gives them something to do and teaches them how to take care of their body too, just as an example.